operates like any other government department between the hours of 8 to 4, Monday to Friday, of course not on public holidays. But we are very proud of our website, www.ipo.gov.kn, that gives people 24-hour access to understand intellectual property. And one of the things that we are particularly proud of is that we made sure to focus all information on what is relevant to St. Kitts and Nevis. So you don't have to go and Google and find out how does copyright work and then you're not quite sure if it would work here. You can go straight to our website and understand what is relevant to St. Kitts and Nevis. Persons can visit that website. They can email us, they could come into the office if they want more information. We're very open and we're very relaxed and welcoming staff, so anybody who wants more information can feel free to come. We have three main functions. We, first of all, are responsible for administering the laws that are related to intellectual property. It relates to property that is created with your, as the name suggests, your intellect or your mind. So your creative juices, the things that are the products of your intellect. So we talk about, for example, with copyright, books and poems and songs and so on. Or if you're an inventor with patents, you would get to register your rights as the patent inventor. So we're responsible for administering all the laws that are related to the different forms of intellectual property, and there are many. We are also responsible for registering rights that are associated with intellectual property. The main source of our applications comes from the area of trademarks. So think about business logos or business names. These are pieces of intellectual property that people have been applying for the right to own in St. Kitts and Nevis. So we spend a lot of our time processing those applications and making sure that they are compatible with the regulations that are set out in law. The third thing that we are responsible for is raising awareness. So for example, we register rights in relation to trademarks and patents. However, say for example in the area of copyright where there's no registration mandate, then people have a lot of questions about understanding copyright, how it works, and we have a responsibility to raise awareness in that regard. So generally, we administer laws, we register the rights associated with intellectual property, and we raise awareness and generally just promote inventiveness and creativity in St. Kitts and Nevis. One of the areas that we see a lot of activity in terms of, let's say, St. Kitts and Nevis, let's focus on Nevis even, let's consider geothermal energy. So consider you're a young engineer and you've come up with this idea for an engine that could help to produce geothermal energy. And it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And you figure you've done your prototype and you've made it work and it works. So you would come to our office, we would do the necessary searches and see if that sort of technology exists anywhere else in the world. If it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world and it's workable, then we would grant you the rights for that patent, that invention. Then imagine you've created this wonderful engine and you want to sell it to somebody and they buy it and they try and they make copies of your engine or they reproduce it and they try to sell it. Because of the rights that you would have gotten in our office, anybody who then tries to make subsequent sales of your invention would be liable, and you can then sue them for damages or a percentage of any profits that they would have gotten. That's a bit of a far-reaching example, but we see it even in simple scenarios with people's trademarks or people's music, or you're producing music and then you just happen to be hearing your song being sung somewhere or sung by somebody who you didn't authorize, then because of the rights that you have in copyright, then you would be able to take action against persons who would have used your intellectual property without permission. We have a personal goal to become a fully automated office within the near future. As it stands right now, we use something called the Industrial Property Automation System, where all of our trademark applications are essentially digitized. So we can do trademark searches electronically, as opposed to showing you the old manuals that we would have had to manually search through page by page to make sure that your trademark that you're applying for protection for doesn't already exist and is registered in St. Kitts and Nevis. So we have that system in office, but we are trying to open it. We're making steps towards opening it up to the public so that you could stay from home and find out and do a search to determine whether or not, let's say, Open Interactive is already registered in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we're moving towards making it possible for you to even submit your applications online. And then we would make all of our, the processes involved in registering your trademark digital. We're doing that we're focusing on trademarks, but of course we have to focus on the other areas of intellectual property as well. But because so much of our work and time is associated with trademarks, we're focusing on that first. The main focus for us has always been about improving efficiency. We want to improve the processing times for dealing with applications. We want to improve our relations with our clientele, the people who use our office. And in order for us to improve efficiency, then that is why we focused on a number of things. So we focused on increasing access to the office or information about intellectual property. So that was the initiative under which the website came. We are also focusing very heavily on building competence in staff. So we have to make sure that our staff are competent and efficient in fulfilling their service to the people. And so we have spent a lot of resources and time into building our staff. We have made sure to make those sorts of investments into the office and into the staff, and making sure it is more accessible and visible to the public, because we want people to understand that as we move into a digital economy, we can't just focus on our tangible products and just the services that we usually focus on. But we're moving digitally, so we have to start thinking about our intellect as a provider of commerce and money, and thinking about music as an economic generator for people. We want to make sure that the framework is in place for people to take advantage of that sort of resource, and make sure that they can, as they ply their trades, however or wherever they ply them, especially in this digital age, that they are protected. So focus on people, making sure the framework is strong, and of course, doing what we can with public awareness. Those have been some of the strongest developments that we've seen.